Good morning, SEC. Here we are once again, an opportunity to infuse into our spirit, infuse into ourself, the spirit of love, the spirit of joy, the spirit of infinite possibility of us being exactly who we have the potential to be right here, right now, at a time when the world needs the best of us. And this is an opportunity that we have to continue to grow and to evolve. I love the affirmation for this week. I am and will be a stand for love in this world. No matter who is listening, I am listening and I am engaged. I am listening and I am engaged. That means that we're listening with our ears, with our intuition, with all the receptors that are in our body. And based on what it is that we're hearing and how it is that we are identifying with that voice of God, we are using that as our directional guide for our engagement. And engagement is what? Action. So it goes back to that question again. As we pray, as we affirm, as we listen, all the messages coming into us, we then have an opportunity to say, what is mine to do? What is mine to do? Let's just breathe that in. I was reminded this week of a quote from Black Elk. And Black Elk said, "The first peace, which is the most important, is that which comes within the souls of people when they realize their relationship, their oneness with the universe and all its powers. And when they realize at the center of the universe dwells the Great Spirit, and that its center is really everywhere. It is within each and every one of us." Wow. So, as we go forward this week, let us be like the prophet Ezekiel in the Bible. He was the prophet of hope. And right now we are being called to give hope to the people and to cast a beam of light on a future of good for all. Think about it. With everything that's going on, 2020 has been quite a year. It has given us the opportunity to hit the pause button in many ways. In fact, our very survival is depending on that and how we relate with that. So in the midst of a pandemic, what we call the coronavirus, we're having to change and shift how we are in the world, how we have lived up to this point. We are being called to shift and go inside. We have more opportunities to be still. We have more opportunities to be with our families. We have more opportunities to be creative and engaging with others in new ways that may not be based on this physical body, but requires us to access deeper into our feeling self, deeper into the way we see the world and the way we see each other. And it is requiring of us to shift in ways that allows our survival to come forward so that we have a tomorrow. We have a tomorrow. But what about that tomorrow? Ernest Holmes has a poem that I really enjoy. And for those of you who get the e-blast, you may have seen it there. But it's a poem to ponder by Ernest Holmes. And he says, "This I saw, or else some greater presence made it known to thee. The universe is filled with life. The earth, the sky, the sea, and teemed with intelligence, with majesty and might. Deep within me some subtle inner sight beholds and sees, comprehends and knows all. No fears, no failures, but answers the divine call. To be as one, beyond the bounds of time and space, to overcome the bondage of our human race, and to leap with trust, undaunted and free, into the depths of the infinite sea, whose waters calm are ready to receive those who in simple faith believe." Let's just take a moment, breathe that in. Those who in simple faith believe. And you see, as we have the opportunity to go deeper into that internal space where we connect with the infinite knowing of who we are, the infinite awareness that the God of the universe is also the God of our inner verse. So as we go forward this week especially, let us remember that at the heart of our ever-evolving selves, our failures and our successes are a reflection of our divinity. Now, someone asked me once, what do you mean by failures? Well, in an indigenous way, we think of failures maybe a little bit different. A failure is simply that time when we forget who we are. The time when we forget and act in accordance with the forgetfulness, when we forget who we are, placing us outside of our divine infinite possibility. So failure simply reminds us of our forgetfulness and helps us to recognize it. And it is a call to remember the truth of who we are. And our successes reflect our remembering. And the restoration is the result. It is the result of our embodiment of this truth and the action the truth inspires in each one of us, because the voice of divine consciousness is given space. It's given an opportunity to be heard, and therefore it can illuminate and embody what is ours to do. Let's take a moment on that. I want to go back. So our failures simply are the result of us forgetting who we are. Our success comes in our remembering of the truth of who we are. And remembering the truth of who we are is all about restoration. It restores us and centers us into our God selves. And in that space, we can embody the truth, and we can take the actions that are inspired out of that truth. That voice of God that is forever speaking to us. Our divine consciousness that is leading us into the illumination embodiment of what is ours to do. So when that restoration happens, when we realize we've forgotten, and then we remember who we are, and then we hear, and then we act in that accordance, we become like Ezekiel. We become the prophets of hope. We become the prophets of inevitability. We become the prophets of enlightenment. We are being called to that right now. We are being called to give the hope to the people and to cast a beam of light on a future of good, not just for some, but for all. Cast a beam of light. And that's what SEC does. We claim that we are the lighthouse, and we are beaming the light out into our community and beyond, so that we are illuminating a future that works for all. Now, regardless of what it looks like, the divine cannot abandon us. So in our moments of forgetfulness, we are restored when we remember that the infinite is not going to abandon us. It is impossible, because we are pure God stuff. We are emissaries of the divine, right here, right now. And at this time, we are being called to radical divine centeredness. And I guess another way you could say that is we are being called into a radical moment of remembering who we are, so that we can restore what is divine, what is good, what is love, what is joy, what is peace, what is a world that works for all. So remember, in those moments when we're slipping on the forgetful side and things just don't feel right, we feel pressed, remember to stop, head to the heart, stop and drop, and ask in a gentle, loving way, what is mine to do? And as that sense of doing this in the right flow of divine action comes, do what is yours to do with love. You see, we are being called right now to be healers and love warriors, armed with glorious, blazing arrows of light. Light filled with ancient wisdom from time before time. We are strong enough and wise enough, regardless of what it might look like. We are strong enough and wise enough because the divine source of all runs through our veins and pushes us ever forward from now through eternity. That's so important to remember. For those who sharpen their eyes and their receptive, intuitive ears to the truth that transcends the false evidence of violence and deprivation and discrimination and fear resulting from actions that are under the influence of false evidence appearing real. For those who sharpen their ears and their eyes and all of their receptors, the truth is being revealed. But remember, in the beginning, I spoke of this is a time when we are hearing. I am listening and I am engaged. So we are listening, but it's not just about listening. It is answering that question, or listen to the answer to the question of what is mine to do, and then engaging. So we are strong enough, wise enough, because divine source of all and all of us runs through our veins and pushes us forever forward. Isn't that beautiful? Pushes us forever forward. And will do so from now through eternity. For those who sharpen their eyes and their receptors, as I said, our intuitive ears, the truth is being revealed and is transcending the falsehoods, the forgetfulness. So how many mighty souls have come to bear the scars of hate, hurt, sadness, as they stand for love, for truth, for peace. Just think of the Lord warriors who have stood up for what is right, stood up for that divine calling. How they bear the scars of those who have forgotten as they give their life for our remembrance. So we are being called to be healers and love warriors, armed with glorious blazing arrows of light. So we must let our light shine for them, for the God in them that is the same God in us, that they might look down and have a moment to pause and just really feel so good. Because we are remembering everything in the universe has organized itself to put us in a position where we have an opportunity to listen. And for those who are listening, they're moving more and more into that space where we're transcending the scars of hate and moving into the promise of love. Change is in the air. I don't know about you, but I know I feel it every day. And it humbles and excites me because I recognize in this change that I feel there is an opportunity for us to thrive, hand in hand, heart to heart. It is letting us experience one another. It is letting us be courageous love warriors, taking a stand for love, taking a stand for the promise of this time. Let's take a deep breath right here, because I see in each of you, as I look who's coming on to the service, I see through my divine eye an awareness of the love that surrounds you and the love that inspires you. Inspires you through your intuition, your creativity, your own wisdom. And that then gets to be reflected in what you know is what you're being called to do. Painting that painting that just captures our heart. Taking a stand for something that is really needed. Or just being the divine reflection in everything and everywhere you go. Let's just take a deep breath. Change is in the air. We are courageous love warriors, taking a stand for love. Let us listen and be guided by the truth within. This is a great opportunity for restoration at a personal level in the bigger world stage. Truth is as ancient as life itself. Take a deep breath with me. So listen. God's calling. Listen. The divine whisper of love that transcends time and space. Allows us to be caught up in this amazing movement, this amazing opportunity to be the love, to be the love, to be the love, restored in the infinite love of the Creator. I can only imagine how history will interpret this time. What is mine to do? Do it with love. Thank you. Thank you. Let's just take a deep breath. Let's just be in the stillness for a moment. And so it is.